What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to get back at the YZ250F build here. I've got the wheels all done there and I got the tires on and everything. So in this video I'm going to work on getting the tires together. I'm going to work on getting the brakes done. So I'll have hopefully have a rolling chassis by the end of this video. So here on the bench now I have a brand new drive sprocket in the back there. I went with the primary drive 49 tooth. I'm just going stock, so I went with the 13 in the front, 49 in the back. For the rotors here, I tried to clean these up the best I could. I'm just going to use the ones that came on it. They're well within spec, so I'm going to put these ones back on the bike and use those. Right, well I got the wheels all together here now, so they're ready to go back on the bike, but first I got to put the rear brakes on. And even before that, I've got to put these back together. I've got the seal kit and everything ready to put in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Right, well I got the brakes assembled here, so this has to go into the mix when you're putting the rear wheel on. So it's always a good idea to put a little bit of grease or something like that on the axle, just because it's a lot easier to get out when you're ready to take it out for a tire change or whatever. So now moving on to the front brake caliper. So this one here, I powder coat the Rally Blue from Eastwood powder coats there. It turned out pretty good. So I can't wait to get it together and see how it's going to look on the bike. Got the brake all put together and got that caliper on the bike now. It's looking sick, all powder coated and everything. So now I'm gonna go ahead and clean everything up, the spacers and things like that for that front wheel, and put that on. Right, so I got all the front and rear wheels on here now. So now I'm going to clean up the exhaust and route the exhaust back onto the bike. But first, I haven't torqued in these bolts yet for the linkage and the suspension, so I'm gonna have to do that. So I got all the suspension and linkage torqued into the bike now. It's looking really good. So now I'm gonna go grab the exhaust and put it up in the vise and try and pull that apart. So I got the muffler all torn apart here now. It came apart fairly easy. This is much easier than any two-stroke pipe I've ever taken apart. Those usually fight you when you take these bolts out here and you try and pull that tube out of there. It really usually fights you. This one come out no problem, so that's a good thing. So this will be easy enough to clean up. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. I might maybe do some powder coating on it. I don't think too much heat hits here, so I think the packing kind of stops it. So now that I've got the packing out, I mean, I might as well just replace it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the shopping cart and replace the packing. All right, so I've got the exhaust cleaned up here, looking pretty good. The screen, I'll probably just go ahead and spray that out when I put the packing in, but everything else is looking pretty good. The tube's good. This here is ready to go back on the bike, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that back on right now. There it is. I got the front pipe on now. I didn't realize the old crush washer was stuck in there, so I took that out. It was just, I put the new crush washer in. I didn't have enough threads to put the nuts on, so I had to take the pipe out and dig in with a screwdriver, and out came the old one. So I'm gonna leave the that exhaust out for now, that muffler, just because it's gonna be easier to do the packing on the bench. I might just set it in the bike just to see how it looks or whatever, but definitely gonna have to take it off the bike to do the packing. So now what I think I'm gonna do is start putting the reservoir on the back brake here and start putting the hose and everything on. So everything's looking really good here. This little plate turned out good. Nice bit of powder coat on there. I got the line on okay. Everything worked out really good. There's two little clamps that go here and here. I've got them over here painted black there. So just a little accent there to kind of make the clamps look a little better than just the white that they come in. So I'm gonna move on to the front now and start doing the same thing on the front and doing the front brake line. I got the brake line ran here now. Remember when you're doing these front brake lines, they got to go down in between the wheel and the fork and try and keep it as close to the wheel as possible without blocking the bleed nipple here. So this will be held in place when you put the fork guards on by the clamp. I'm probably going to bleed this while it's sitting here like this with no plastic on it. This is the easiest time to bleed these front brakes. So the rear doesn't really matter. Well, you don't want to have all your numbering, your number plastic on and everything. But when you got no number plate and you got no front fender on, that's the easiest time to bleed these. So I got the brakes mostly bled here now. I am getting solid oil out of here as I pump it, but the lever is just a tiny bit spongy. Like, I'm probably not getting pressure till about here. Don't worry about that if that happens. Don't drive yourself crazy. Take the bike for a ride and let the air work out of the hose. Sometimes the air is caught somewhere in the hose or somewhere in the caliper or something like that. And don't go out and do anything crazy. Just go out and get the bike shaking and moving and juddering up and down. And a lot of times you'll see you'll be full of oil here, and then it'll be about half down. So that means that air has come out up through the hose into your reservoir as you apply the brakes and things like that. So you might have to bleed it out on the drop point at the trail, wherever you are, or at the track or something like that. So take your bleed kit, whatever you use with you, and just bleed it out there. Since everything's out of the way here now, I might as well move to the back brake and bleed that. But first I have to put on the lever here. So the rear brakes are bled. So now I think I'm gonna move on and do the subframe here. I've got the airbox and the subframe out on the bench there. I just need to put the rear shock protector on it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the bike. All right, well, I got the subframe all bolted in here now. I got the boot connected to the carburetor in there. And before I put this on, I did a coat of rocker guard on the sides of the airbox here. So that looks really good. It gives it a little bit of a new look to it, and it offers a little bit of protection for the plastic there. All right, guys, so I got the bike looking awesome behind me. Everything's going together pretty good. So usually what I'll do is wait and do all like the plastics at once. But I think because I ordered the packing, I gotta wait to do the plastics on the rear because of the muffler or whatever. So I think what I'm gonna start doing now is going from the front to the back, and that's what I'm gonna work from, just waiting for the packing there. So probably torque up all the triple clamps, things like that, torque up the top nut and everything, and go from there, start putting plastics on from the front to the back. So now I'm gonna quickly pop these bars off so I can get access to this steering stem nut and torque that down, and then I'm gonna start straightening out the front suspension system. So line it up with the front wheel and everything like that. All right, guys, I got everything torqued in except for the bar clamp bolts here. So these ones here, again, I've said this before, but make sure you alternate them until you get the torque value you want on both of them. Because if you just tighten one, tighten the other, this one's going to loosen off a little bit, so, or it's not going to be as tight. So you got to kind of work them in, and that goes for all of them. And when you line everything up, make sure you get up on top of the bike and just look down the triples. Make sure that's lined up, that's nice and straight, and then just line it up kind of with your eyes and make sure the tire looks good. So that's all you got to do there. And then when you get that all done, you can snug these in a little bit, and you can grab the tire with your knees and grab the bars and twist them back and forth a little bit. So, but when you get everything torqued in good, it'll stay all still for you. So now I got to, I think I'm going to go ahead and start putting the plastic on the front. So I'm going to put the fork guards on so I can start putting the little clamp for the hose and everything on. Another thing I'm going to add in here, guys, is when you torque this nut down, it is going to significantly impact what you did with the this nut here. So make sure you don't set up the bearing torque so that it's not like too stiff before you torque that nut down, because then you're going to find it really stiff. So just like a nice rolling feel to it is what I do, and then by the time I torque this up, it's actually feels really good. So that's kind of how I do it. Okay, so I got the fork guards on now. I got the little clamp here on that holds the brake line on. I'm gonna tighten all this up later because I got a little procedure that I do to make sure the guide bushings are going in there nice and smooth. So now I'll move on to going to the top, probably a fender there. Actually, I was gonna go with the fender, but then I remembered I haven't put the louvers on yet, so I have brand new louvers here. So I'm gonna have to bend these brackets a little bit to get the brand new louvers on. So if you put the fender on first, it's gonna get right in your way while you're trying to do this. So I got the louvers in now. They don't look too bad, but at the end of the day, they're gonna hide in there behind the rad shrouds anyway. This one here, I'm kind of SOL on because that's broken, so I'm not gonna be able to put any kind of a bolt in there. So that'll have to do for that. So with all that out of the way, now I can go ahead and put this front fender on, and I can probably put the number plate on after.
Perfect.
Alright guys, I think that's going to be the end of this video. I've got the front number plate on, I got the fender on, I got the fork guards on, I got the line all secured now, I got the airbox on, I got a few other things done in this video, bled the brakes, everything like that. So I'm excited to see how this bike is going to turn out. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell if you want to see the rest of this bike go together. And as always guys, thanks for watching.